pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic
which stands
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You didn't script that, so I didn't need you here. I wish I thought of it.
Mayor Flower,
Here.
Alderman Bateman,
Here.
Ms. Frizzy, here, Patrick,
Here.
Sir,
Here.
Holloway. He's walking.
Hold on.
I know.
Hold on.
Wait for it.
Holloway, Alderman Holloway, are you present?
Present.
With the train,
Yes.
we'll go that one. Did you get everybody? I'm sorry, I scratched it.
Yes, I got that.
Minutes?
I'll motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Jesper, anybody here? Wants to talk, Kenny, got anything for us? All right, Jesper is over. We got, the, special use permit, drive-through from the Garlands on exit 11 coffee. Probably need to have you talk us through that one a little bit, just because the, drive-through, we got all sorts of exhibits and stuff like that, so give us the show.
All right. Angela Garland and my husband is Scott Garland, and he is repairing an ice machine, an espresso machine, and a grinder tonight. So we have 6 drive-through coffee stands, and we've got 2 in Washington, 2 in Union, 1 in St. Peters, and 1 in Brentwood. We're opening up our 7th at the end of December in St. James, so this will be our 8th. And we got into the drive-through coffee business in 2018, and that was after being in the co-working / coffee shop business, and the coffee part took off, and so that's why we're here. And actually, Eureka, so we opened up our first location in 2018, and then we immediately started scouting Eureka because I had family that lived here. A lot of our customers are from Eureka, and we still hear all the time on social media, but they're opening Eureka, so we needed to be here. And so now the opportunities with Brent came up, and finally this summer, so we are making it happen. Obviously, me and my husband are still very much a part of the business. He takes care of all of the maintenance of all the equipment. He's our product development guy. He does all the training, and then, so he takes care of all the hard stuff, and I do all the fun stuff. So anyway, that's where he is, and that's actually a very good thing, because there's a lot of places that we can shut down, because getting an espresso machine repaired, like you're waiting weeks. So it's nice that you go fix everything tonight, tomorrow they'll be up and running, so it's great. These are just like a little bit of our story, but we have, we love small business. So we get all of our, we have, sell chorizo burritos, and we get all of our nitrate-free chorizo from Williams Brothers Meats in Washington, Missouri. We have a gal that drops off 90 dozen eggs every week from a local farm in New Haven, so for all of our egg dishes. And 2 years ago, we opened up our own roastery, so we roast all our beans. So we get green beans delivered, we roast them, and then we sell them to all of our drive-thru locations. So, fun facts, we do not use a speaker box, so you order right at the window, so that gives us, our error margin is really small, because we can look in the oven, we write it up, we call it out, we give it back to you, and then when we're giving it back to you, we make sure we got it right. So we have one last chance to say, oh, no, I ordered soy milk, and that whole thing. So, we have 60 employees, probably next week will be 62, so we, this time last year, I think we had 40, so we are continuing to grow. Our baristas are trained for a minimum of 120 hours, and that's because we want them to learn how to stretch milk, pull shots, weigh grinds, calibrate their espresso machines. So they're real baristas, they don't just push buttons. So, and what I'm really proud of is we have 5 generations in the workplace, which I just looked at the other day. It's like, oh, my mom counts as the silent generation, so she's got 1 there. And we could have 6 if I count my grandson who's in all the ads, but he's the alpha generation. But anyway, so we've got, Gens, Z's, X's, Y's, we've got them all. So the how the location is laid out is really exactly like our first location. And so we have a 2-sided trailer. It's a concession trailer for our very first location. So we have 4 trailers, 2 brick and mortar buildings. This will be a brick and mortar building. We love trailers just because they're easy to get up, and not every city will have it. So we're going to build a little 250 to 300 square foot building that will sit in front of the other building. That building will be used for the manager office, and then all of our storage, stock, extra freezer space, et cetera. And that will also help serve Brentwood and possibly Pacific. We will get Pacific, but fine place, so we want to be there. I know it's hard to do. That's all. We've served as many as 84 customers in an hour, so the biggest question is car stack, traffic, so we can stack 10 cars at a time. And so like today, our busiest location, which is kind of slow for them, but they did 125 between 7 and 9. So we're never into the street, because we're seeing we could really be probably at 120, I don't want us to be able to do that, because that's a minute a car each side, so if we do 60 to 70 an hour, it takes us about 2 minutes on each side to do it. And because 85% of our customers are regulars, repeat, we know their drink, they're coming in line, so we have Boca Mary's, Lot by Fred, Four Shot Larry, and you know them, we're calling it out, so great. And let's see, and actually this is a fun fact that nobody ever thinks about, because we are in the coffee business and we sell a lot of lattes, a lot of energy teas, a lot of drinks, but we make the best breakfast burrito. And last year to date, our little guys in the kitchen have made 56,000 burritos and bowls. So we always got something to eat, which is really good too. I think that's all. We also have, there's organic, gluten-free, dairy-free, keto friendly, we got veggies, so we got something for everyone. So we're excited about that. And we are overly excited about Eureka because we've been looking at, you probably had emails from me for years in the past, like, what do we do? How do we get here? Anyway, any questions that you have for me?
What is the hours of operation?
6 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Friday. Saturdays we will have to wait and see. So most of the is closed at 4, and on Sunday we're closed at 2.
The building in the back, are you going to brand that building so that it looks
Yes.
tied to?
So the little peak, we'll put our circle, our X11 circle logo right there. And then I think we can do one more tall sign. And the building itself will also have some signage. The building.
Okay.
That was probably the two that were coming in, because we were looking around, and again, we're excited about anybody that comes to town, especially retail businesses, because we make money on it, so we make it off your business, so we like sales tax producing ones. The kind of questions I had was, just in general, like the drive-through building, you had a picture of that, and we were looking at, I was kind of looking at your other locations. I've not, most of the places I've seen you do that building size, you have like, it'll be like an outlet of like a large shopping center or something like that, so it looks like kind of there's on the front, and then maybe you got a big door. I had already had like that one in Brentwood, looks like it's a standalone by itself, and then either side. I hadn't seen, that was one of, like, he was asking, I guess for some of us in here, we're kind of looking at, it's hard to visualize having the auto shop type building behind the store, like how that looks, because I've never seen that set up, and it doesn't mean it's wrong, I just didn't know what you guys are, how do you see that?
Well, like I said, our first location was on Jefferson Street in Washington, Missouri, is on an abandoned gas station, gravel lot, across from a graveyard. We thought, oh my
It
gosh.
sounds like an ideal.
How am I gonna make this work? But because it was a gas station, we knew they did their homework and knew that was a travel path to schools, et cetera. And that building, it was actually condemned, and we remodeled it and turned it into a roastery. It's got matching lighting signs, so it really looks cute, like they belong together. And it's where, the girls are running in and out all the time to grab stock and go to the bathroom.
So you have some that, you ran some that looked like this before?
Yeah, so if you look at if you go to Facebook or look at our Jefferson Street location, you'll see, and it's actually a two-sided trailer sitting in front of 1,000 square foot building, which used to be the cookie market kind of thing, so. This will look much better, because you've got a nice looking building, and we'll make sure that the colors of the new building, that they match, and as if they were supposed to be there. And it's got our little building has a pointed peak, looks like it would go in the mountains, and this building has a pointed peak, so it'll look, I think, the street like they belong to.
Okay, and you said that your other locations, that you can do how many off the street, you can line up how many
We
cars?
line up 10, so usually like the Brentwood location is the tightest, just because of the turn radius, but it's got 5 on each side. This location, we measured 6 on one, 4 on the other, and that's if they're 20 feet, so we always don't get, we gotta have 100 feet that allows for 5 cars on each side.
So what's the web, where can I see that again? I was looking up, like, you said station one, would be station 11. What's the website?
Oh, sorry, exit 11 copy.
Huh?
Exit 11 copy.
That's 11. Just curious what that was.
Is this a drawing of the building and with the little turnaround, is this to scale? By any chance, you know?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, when we did the bigger, I don't know why we don't have the bigger drawing in there, but the building is 10 feet wide, 28 feet long. And then the building, so it's 10 feet wide, but his building is 10 feet long. No, 10 feet wide, sorry, 28 feet, so. I wish that if the building is not in there, it should be.
So on your Jefferson one, is it a building and then it's, okay, so are they in the same spot? If I say a coffee one and a building behind it, that looks like on 14th, I'm just trying to get it.
Yeah, we have our original coffee shop / co-working center at 1351 Jefferson, and then at 1403 Jefferson is where the two-sided drive-through trailer and the roastery operation is. So the roastery is in the abandoned gas station building.
Where does Eureka's ownership of Central, North Central start? How far away from the intersection, do you know? Like, is it mowed out up to a certain point?
Correct.
And where do we transition?
Did you find the show? Yeah, I mean, it's similar, I mean, this is, but that one, is that like a level one on a trailer even? The one you're doing at that
No,
Jefferson?
it's a,
I'm just looking through it.
yeah, it's a building, so it looks like, exactly like our one in
It'll look like the one you're gonna do, that, like the one you have in the picture in here. And then, so that was one question I had, and then the other, so on the building itself, what are you talking about doing to the existing building? Like, are you guys gonna leave it, like, is it gonna stay with the garage doors and everything, or I just?
Well, my son is actually in the, he does window tinting, and so we'll take that reflective off and make more of a, frosted kind of look, so that it's not so glaring. But then that first office will be the office space, manager office and bathroom, even though the building will also have a bathroom in it, so the tiny building. And then the other shop, the garage, it's got power, so we can store fridges and freezers and pallets of frappuccinos and sauce and all that stuff.
And then, the question I think a lot of guys are getting at, and this would be the one I think we're trying to figure out, just explain, because we, like you said, is the actual drive, because like I said, the one, what I saw had quite a bit of stacking, I could see going around the other way. What I'm struggling with is trying to figure out on this turn in with the double turns off that intersection and everything, but sometimes, and right now, there's nothing open across the street, they used to have that, super smokers or whatever was over there. But I'm just trying to figure out, I mean, when you look at it, how do you, from your point of view, running it, how do you perceive, because obviously you don't want to have traffic stacked up and running all over the place, but how do you perceive, I mean, is that, because you're showing basically, and I'm not, I guess what I'm looking at too is like, so say if you're coming in, you're leaving at the same place those guys are coming in, it just, I just have never seen it like that before, so I don't know kind of what you're thinking on how you got that, because that's what if you didn't have a drive-through lane, you wouldn't be in here. Because that's the only thing, that's the big thing we're looking at, that's what I'm struggling with, trying to figure out exactly how you see that working, so.
Yeah, all of our, except for St. Peter's, all of them we have a double horseshoe, so we actually look for lots that have the two, the ingress, egress, and that they're wide enough so that one person going in, and the other person going out, so they're like reverse there. But there are some people who try to drive up the road from the drive-through, the passenger side, and we're like, we have to go outside, like, because they're going the wrong way and stuff like that, because they think, oh, this is cute. But for the most part, people don't have to order from the window side, so people will follow the leader, so there is a little bit of training for new customers, so, I like that so if I'm heading, I'm directionally challenged a little bit,
Well,
if I'm
if
heading from
you're
Fifth,
coming into your place from.
if I'm coming from
where you
Fifth,
headed north.
yeah, if I'm on Fifth and I'm looking at our building up there, I'm gonna go naturally to the second entrance, and luckily that's where there's 6. I'm gonna take a left into there, and that's where I can stack
Why do
6
you
cars.
think they'll go to the second one?
That's kind of a concern we have with the double there, is because it's so short when you're coming in on that left, and.
Yeah, because there's gonna be, you have to do well, that's what that's typically how it's happening at our Jefferson Street. That's the closest location, because they are,
But just look at that Jefferson Street, the difference that, and that's what I said, I don't want you to think this the wrong way, we're not anti-doing it.
But we're just trying to think through what's going on, because the Jefferson location does not have a light, and it doesn't have the traffic kind of, I mean, there's a lot going on at that intersection at times. Sometimes it's dead, but that could be like a school intersection, there are spots.
Right.
And then that's my concern, is you could have that intersection stuck, you know, you could either get somebody in there right off of it, you're trying to get in, and that's what we were kind of talking about, that's because of the uniqueness of that, does the flow of this make sense versus configurations, you know? I was even looking at, if everybody came in on the second one, could you double stack them and have two sides open? Coming in, you know, could they?
Then they're ordering from the passenger window. So they're going opposite directions of each other, so they're.
So one guy's ordering from the driver window, one's ordering from the passenger. No,
No, exactly.
if they both came from the same side.
Yeah, if we both came in this way, we doubled it, then
Well, I'm saying you could come in on either side, so you could, once you got in the place, you could go on the left or the right side of the building.
no,
But you're
because
saying you can't do that, because you got,
then you have, because you're pulling right up to the window, so then the passenger.
right up the passenger, right?
So on Jefferson, the city constellation, they have 9,000 cars that go on that street a day, all the way to downtown. So this little street, Central, does not have 9,000, it's maybe a couple hundred cars. So the good thing is we're not competing with normal traffic, whereas Jefferson Street, they're competing with school traffic, downtown traffic, and so, and we're still able to get cars in and out of there. Now, luckily, that's why we don't want to be on a street that has, that's what's so hard about the 94, it's 55 miles per hour. Now, luckily, they have to stop at stop sign, but we do better on streets that are 30 to 40 miles an hour, because you're already going at a slow pace. What I like is that there are stop signs, they're already in slow motion, they're not driving at 40 miles an hour and I slam on the brakes to turn into the drive-through. And people will, if they want their coffee bad enough, they're like, okay, which one's shorter? And they're just like in the grocery store, like, okay, which one are we going in? And they'll figure out which way. So, yeah, I know it's hard to conceptualize, but we call it the double horseshoe, going opposite directions. And it's really important to have that wide opening, which is why we love this location, because you can't, cars can get going. And we'll paint arrows there so people know.
So like if I'm leaving though, and I went into your first day.
Yeah.
So can I make a left turn out of there when I want to leave?
Yep.
I mean,
Well, hold on a second.
that's kind of what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
it seems like if you had a big stack up in the morning, then you could have
You
something.
can make a left because there won't be cars, you wouldn't be able to make a left if the cars are stacked in the
But
street.
they cannot, but that's what I'm saying.
Which is
Do people,
probably their
that's
concern.
what I'm trying to, I'm just looking at that going, is that somewhere you look at it and go, is that a place to tell me you gotta make a right if you're leaving?
No, it's, people, I haven't seen it be,
The part of our problem, we just never seen, I've never seen it myself, so that's why I'm just asking, like, so you're saying you've got, if you go to a location, like the one that sounds closest, like Jefferson, you're saying you're running, the street that Jefferson's on is busier than this street, and you're saying you can run, or do you anticipate doing as many cars in? Is that a busier location than this would be?
that's our busiest location. So we
So
see,
you talking about the Jefferson downtown that has the 5 lanes?
No, she's talking about in Washington.
Oh, in Washington,
yeah,
Missouri.
Jefferson Street.
It's Jefferson Street, yeah, not that. So she's getting, the one that was the one that had the gas station back, but it's similar to this one, so it doesn't have a lot of, that's what I'm kind of looking at, because it's most similar.
And actually, our most, if there was a complicated one, is the one in Union, the first one in Union, which is on the parking lot, and we have a Mexican restaurant there. So that's why we close that at 2 o'clock, because people are like, they just park right in front of the drive-through, because we are literally taking up only 10 parking spaces for the trailer. And people will, that has a little bit more stacking because it's a little parking lot, no one's open yet, when we're our busiest time, so. That's the other benefit, is that by 9 o'clock, we're,
So what's your biggest hour? So is it really, really concentrated in a smaller period of time, and after that it's pretty?
yeah, so 7 o'clock hour is the highest, and so we hope to be doing 60 cars an hour. So our busiest location is down to 84 in that hour, just Jefferson Street, so. And like our location that just opened, it's been open a month, we saw 150 cars all day today. So if we're doing 200 cars, we did really good. I'm like, okay,
Can you do it with just one?
with one side,
Because it makes a whole lot more sense if you eliminate the one in the bottom in terms of stacking out into the other street. Because you can only stack 2 cars on the on North Central going north, and then you shut down the entire intersection, which happened today, by the way, and it shut down Central, 4th Street, and down to, just past the Methodist Church, because somebody was sitting there waiting to turn in the bank. And there was a truck on the bank lot with a trailer, and they couldn't get in. And I mean, it was going down past the McDonald's on 4th Street.
So I think that's why people think that Starbucks is so busy, because they have cars lined in the street, because they can only stack 6 cars. So we can stack 10 cars. So I can stack 10 on this, 6 on this side, and 4 on this side without being in the street. If I'm not moving those 10 cars, then something's wrong. So we do, we've been doing this 5 years, so I can understand the concern. And I think that, it's funny, because the other day I watched this red car going into Starbucks, being really evil eye, because we got Starbucks that opened up across the street from our theater location. And, okay, I'm gonna see, they've got 4 cars, I'm gonna see where we are, and I got in, out, and left, and he had not even made it to the speaker box yet. So I think because of our speed, that's what saves us. So we are, literally, if we have the cars, we do 60 cars an hour, but we don't have 60 cars an hour all the time, because people are done, they got their coffee, and then we circle, we want to do 20, 30 cars the rest of the day, each hour, so.
One of the concerns I had was the same thing we're talking about here. So what I did was on Friday, November the 10th, and on Monday, November the 13th, I went down there, sat in the parking lot, and started on Friday the 10th at 6:45 in the morning and went till 9 o'clock. And then on Monday, I started at 7 and went till 9 o'clock. And I counted the cars that were going north on Central towards Blovis and then south towards the left. And I found that in the 2.5 hours that I was there on Friday, there was 103 cars total, or 103 cars that were traveling south, okay? Not more than 3 cars ever stacked up at the light at that whole period of time. On Monday, I had a total of 94 cars going south, and again, no more than 3 cars were stacking up at the light at any given time.
South's not the issue, north is the issue.
I'm sorry?
South is not the issue, north is the issue.
No, yeah, okay, I'm going north, there's 177 cars going north in that 2.5 hours
On Friday or Monday.
on Friday, and 170 on Monday going. They just went straight. Some of them turned right into the annex building there. Most of them just went right straight up north towards the church or to Levin's. So there was no traffic issue that I
Well,
saw.
nobody was trying to stop and turn in. That's the problem. You can't do a traffic anticipation of what's gonna do.
Yeah, but what I was looking at though was the fact
Nobody's
that the
stopping.
cars coming south were so spaced out that the people going north, they were going north and going into that second entrance there. They would have no problem turning left into that entrance because there's nobody coming south. So they can turn into that real easy.
So if you're going on here,
Understand?
but if you're going on, witnesses, if you've got, so you're saying here, let's just play a game like maxing out since we don't really have, we got some anecdotal traffic information, but let's just max out. So if you're at, you're saying the busiest time, you're gonna do what, 60 cars in an hour? Okay. So right now, I'm looking at, we got 1, 2, 5. So you're showing 11 cars that could stack in line to get something. Okay. So then how many more, I'm assuming if it got more busy and they got stacked up trying to leave, then you could actually sit, they wouldn't be able to get out the parking lot right away, but they'd be sitting there. So it's actually more stacking, right? Because once you get your stuff, if it's busy, you can sit in the parking lot trying to get out, right?
Yes.
So does that happen to you some too, or you might be waiting a little bit for somebody to get out of the parking lot, so kind of a little stacking after they get their food or coffee?
Yeah, you might have to wait till, like, somebody's turning in and you're trying to turn out, so it would probably be
There's a
hard.
little bit of stackability there, because
Oh, yeah.
basically, to me, it looks like you got about the equivalent, you got about half of the stack, you got about half the cars in there you could potentially have, because you could be sitting, waiting, I mean, you could stack more cars in there waiting to get out too, so it's
So
kind
you
of like,
probably stack 5 as you're leaving.
So you would cycle this number of cars through, so we say 5, so we got 11 in here, is what we're showing stack.
I think 10,
10,
yeah.
6 and
601.
6 and 5. So if you got 10 stacked, then you're saying I would just be running that 6 times in an hour.
And when I looked at I wish I had the MSD, sorry, not Missouri Service, but the traffic counts. Because I always look at the traffic counts, and that's even, I think it's just, I mean, for the whole day, it's a couple thousand cars on that street. And that would usually be a deterrent for us, because I need 9,000 cars to get.
Well, you got
300
I
people.
think 44 and then having Fifth Street also.
Yeah, probably Fifth Street would be the,
Fifth Street's got a ton of cars.
so that's why it makes sense, because there's,
What's, I mean, you guys have, not to put you on the spot where, because I know you can't prepare to talk about the entire time. Like, when you guys look at, those intersections, are you guys busier there than you are other places, or how do you kind of perceive it in general from a safety?
Well, for us, the busiest intersection for us and the worst intersection along Central Avenue is 4th Street. So 4th and Central is really,
So 4th is where
all of our,
McDonald's and all that stuff.
right, and that's where the majority of our crashes occur. Most crashes in the city actually occur in the 109-44 corridor. That's over half of our crashes occur in that area. But that particular intersection, in fact, the reason I know that is John, we just talked about 4th, and I looked at all of Central Avenue, and Central and 5th had 1 or 2 where like you had 3 or 4 times as many at 4th Street, because it's just a problem because of traffic backing up. And traffic backing up is normally on Central Avenue going north, waiting to go on to 5th Street. And we've all been party to that before. But now I don't really see a
Large on Summit's on your
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. There's nothing there that would cause that at this time. Yeah.
Right, so I like the concept in general. I met Brent there, I forgot what day that was that you and I met. I think it was Wednesday, a week ago or so. I observed really the same thing that Wes saw, which was almost a non-existent traffic issue. But I did leave a little bit before some of the school rush would be. And I did look, when I left, I actually ran into Wes and Brent there on that Friday as well. So I was doing the same thing he was, just to kind of see what this looked like. I didn't take into consideration that Super Smokers was closed and we had 0 traffic in there. So that may be a little bit of a player if that was busy with something. But I saw very light traffic, and then I was curious what I saw, because I wasn't seeing school buses really. And so I decided to drive to the school when I left. And there must have been 5 buses queued up and some parents and all that dropping them off. So I guess they were coming in off of, is that North Street? Comes off at my buildings there. So that was the traffic flow that I basically saw. It was almost a non-existent issue from, I think I met Brent right at 9 o'clock the one day, and there was nothing because school started maybe 10, I think it's 10 after 9 or something like that when it was in session. So the next day that I went, I was earlier just to see that I missed something. And I think Wes had probably a fairly accurate count that it was really, really low, and then there might have been a 10 or 15 minute window that I think you had 39 cars came by, and that was before 9 o'clock, I guess. So I guess here's the difficult part of this, because it doesn't make sense that it looks like MoDOT's, if they own what's striped, it basically comes up almost halfway through the property, because after that there's no stripes, and it becomes 2 lanes. There is a left turn lane as you're heading south to be able to access Fifth Street right there. So part of my issue is that it is not the best configuration for a drive-through, but with the current conditions that I saw, I didn't see a real issue. The crux of it is if you're very successful, then we could have created a long-term problem for us. So I'm wondering if there's any workable ways around any traffic issues there. Do we have any ability to manipulate the street pattern there as far as striping is concerned, or anything along those lines? Do we need to look into that and see what the possibilities are for the future? Because that's where we would run into a problem, is if you're only really successful. And we did start stacking cars to where they were having to wait to turn in. And if we had that 39 group of cars or whatever coming through those minutes, now you are creating a stacking issue as they're heading up there. But it looked to me to be a very temporary problem for just a matter of minutes.
Yeah, that was, on Monday between eight AM and 8:10, there were 39 cars going north. It went straight up north,
And so it's
from
probably,
like towards Blood's, yeah.
How many were coming south?
Huh?
How many people were coming south?
At the same time,
In your scientific.
at the same time, six.
How many?
Six.
I think, and again, I get, Kathy's making a good point, we're all doing, I think we internally as a board, do a little discussion on some of these items, but the one thing I think that if you were doing a traffic study and you were trying to figure out the left, the issue I think we're gonna run into though is you could hardly ever justify doing a lot more because there's so little traffic coming north that it's gonna be hard to, you're not gonna, the only thing that, what you get real concerned about is you have a real busy intersection, they're all coming south and you couldn't make the left.
yeah, that I did not see.
And I don't think anybody's really, none of us have seen that. So what you're looking at is now the bet becomes, okay, they get over here, are they gonna be able to get in the lot? So then your real question is just, is 12 enough people where you're not gonna have it stacked up outside? Because she can hold 12 at any given time, and you're assuming you're not blocked trying to make a left in all the time. You're not sitting there waiting in a big jam. And that's where I have a hard time, she's saying the busiest store is 60. I mean, that's only turning that 12, 4 times.
I'd like to also mention, Kevin brought up the term buses.
Yeah.
The whole time that I looked at them both days, there were no buses until like almost 9 o'clock.
And you said.
And there were
what's your
two
peak time?
buses that came down south and central and went to the light.
So your peak time, you said by 9, you guys are kind of.
Yeah, our busiest hour is 7 to 8, so that's our power hour, and that's why we have 4 people in there, so we can move cars, and
An
then,
hour before school.
What?
An hour before, like, pizza, an hour before school.
How long does it take to get people trained up there?
we spend about 120 hours with them.
No, I mean, not your personal guy, people driving.
Oh.
Like, what I'm just saying, like, you'll get regular customers, you got people. I mean, are you looking at it, is it more people coming off the highway, or is it more people that are local? Just
No,
that's
local.
my question.
That's right. So 85% of our customers are repeat,
Repeats, they're in here.
so we get 15, which I still like that 15% of new people trying to get south. But
So
yeah,
so you're gonna see a high percentage of repeat people that are coming back, that'll kind of start figuring, that was one of my questions, like, is it always somebody new? Because that was a big deal, super smokers was being right on the highway, with, they're seeing people get off, or they're seeing like Six Flags or everywhere.
and we don't really want the highway traffic. I mean, we can, well, if a Starbucks or Scooters open someday, they can have that. Because we really like, we are so community focused that we just want the locals, so. And then they'll learn, everybody follows the leader. And sometimes people won't even drive in there, like if there's no one there, they're like, I don't know what to do, so I'm just keep driving. So once one person pulls in, they figure it out. And we have signage and arrows, so we help them out.
Yeah, so you're literally talking about the busiest time, you'd have to turn that parking lot 5 times in an hour. So that's, to me, that's the key one you're looking at, that's Sean Power's real magical traffic study, but that's actually a real number we can look at, say, do you feel confident you can do that over a long period of time? I don't even see, I mean, I would kind of, the hard one is too, I would defer, I mean, I feel like if you were looking at it and you said, it doesn't do you any good to have really bad traffic, like an intersection. Because weren't you guys saying you're committed to that spot for quite a while too? Because there was rumors that you were doing a longer term deal with them where you're gonna be there for a while, so you're making a big bet on this.
15 years.
Okay, well, I was trying to drag that out, so you're making a 15-year bet on it, then you're probably fairly confident you're gonna not cause a bunch of accidents, and I think people like that.
Yeah, we say,
It's another scientific analysis.
we're in a happy business, you leave us, you're not crabby.
So I don't.
Now, one would assume that if it's too backed up, if you're heading to work, you're probably not stopping.
It's not that you're not stopping, it's that the cars won't be able to get through, because you can only stack, because you have to look at where the right lane stops before you get to this business. So you can't go around, okay, like we can the other. So that's the problem, you only have so much stack.
At the light, you're talking about, right?
Going north.
Yeah.
Something was brought up at PZ too, is that they're coming to the window and there's a slight delay giving them the product that they want. They're asked to go up towards
I can do that.
pull over, like, pull forward.
kind of pull forward over to the side there, so the next person can get their stuff and get out, so, and then somebody will bring the product to them, so that they
Where
don't
did
have
they go?
stacking in the,
But in this lot, there's nowhere to go but. Where are you gonna pull? Because you got both lanes coming.
well, they pull up right there.
As they're pulling out, they act as if they're pulling out, so they just move one car out.
So they just move, there's no place that will sit.
Right.
It's right there where these look, where the parking slots are at, on this diagram here, they'll pull right into there.
You know, she said they just pull up a little bit and wait.
Well, either that way, or they can pull up like into that slot, whatever, yeah.
That's fine.
But that was brought up in the, that I didn't notice that was in the minutes, so.
Otherwise, I know you've been sitting and you have a very insightful thing for us. Share it, don't keep it to yourself.
You know, I like the concept of what she wants to do. I don't think it's the right location. Do we know how wide the openings are to the drive? Because I can guarantee you, the people that are going north to cut off a car to get in, once they pull into that lot and there's 4 already in there, what gives you the idea that they're not gonna block the opening as the others are trying to come out? Because we don't know the distance.
They're both 34 feet.
I don't know. I don't know.
They're about 30.
I don't know. I just, like I said, I like the concept and I like the idea, but I would hate for you to sink your money into a spot that could cause you trouble down the road. And that's what I see. You know, that's my 2 cents.
Again, if there's any way you can do it just using the one that goes on the west side, getting them in, you've got a lot better traffic flow and you're gonna have less of those issues.
Except we can only stack 6 people around. So
Well,
that
but
makes
if you move the building over a little bit,
Oh.
you could get 8 or
Yeah.
9, and then, because they just gotta go in and out. Then
That
it's-
is another option, we could shift the building.
And then you get more people, and then you should have 1 in, 1 out.
Yeah.
And then you don't have the people blocking each other and everything.
We didn't want to be in front of the garage doors, because if we had a truck that came in, we get deliveries, milk deliveries, all that kind of thing.
What's your magic number on stacking? Is there a magic number on stacking or is it just getting them in and out? Because you got the 9 or something like that.
Could you do 2 windows on one side?
Our system is why we can move so many cars, is I'm literally doing this. We're gonna get you, I'll be right back. We're gonna get you, I'll be right back. And I do this all day long, so I can, other than other locations where they gotta walk 20 feet. So we made it so that, because I'm a patient, my husband's a patient, we can't stay on the line, it's like, we gotta have to find a solution that moves our cars. So I feel like, if we've got 10 cars lined up, then we aren't moving cars fast enough. And so that's when I'm in there, I'm like, okay, there's another, we're making something and somebody's away and they have a spill, and I know it's gonna be 1 more minute. I'm like, sir, would you mind just driving up and all, because I know I wanna not make the guy that's 3 cars back keep waiting, so. But that's what's nice, and we're still on the front lines, we still visit every location to make sure it's not being run by 20-year-olds, it's adults, just like, nothing against 20-year-olds, I love 20-year-olds. Just have somebody there that's making sure that's aware of what's happening.
Exactly, and then just trying to kind of move us in some direction as opposed to.
Man, I think ultimately, if it's the majority of locals, because I can't see people cruising off the highway for it,
They're not gonna know.
I mean, people are gonna learn quickly. And I'm telling you, like, if it's backed up and I'm just gonna go around and not go. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna back up in Central. I mean, some people probably will. But I mean,
Well, Mike, is that something you guys take care of at times too? If I got an issue over there and people are not following traffic rules and then we.
Well, I mean,
we never let people know.
To me, I think it's such a small window of time, and it's just a very concentrated rush that you're dealing with. I mean, we deal with this throughout the city. We talk about like Gagey Elementary
Right.
School, like,
Yeah, we have people parked over
yeah,
there.
I mean, it's all over the place, but it's for a very short period of time. I think people,
You would remind me of something that I had a problem with you about that's fine.
Good job.
Great.
So, I mean, so should we,
If you're maxed out at full time, like you're putting 60 cars through, I mean, so basically, we're talking 30 cars per side per hour. If you're kicking 60 cars.
So probably a little bit more of the far one.
To the far.
I'm just saying, big calculation, we're all making it more complex. It's not ideal, it could have a problem, but you're looking at, worst case, you got 60 cars in an hour, and she's showing 12 in a lot. So can you turn 60 cars in an hour? I mean, you're turning that lot 4 times.
Yeah.
And
I think it's still.
as much as I kind of look at it, I go, that's a hard, I would have a hard time saying that couldn't happen with, you know, could it, I mean, you're always gonna have issues, might be, you might have something wrong, but I mean, at some point, I don't have a.
Have you ever had to reconfigure another location because of traffic issue?
I think at some point we need to make a decision, so I don't ever.
I think either we table it or vote.
I don't have it, I mean, usually I only table some if I have something else I want to see.
I don't think there's any
Otherwise,
wise
we don't want to waste some time. I mean, does anybody else have anything they want to say or do, or the,
I'll make a vote to approve.
You motion?
Made motion to approve.
I'll second.
I will have a motion, a second, all in favor.
Aye.
How many was it, 4?
Oh,
You were in it too?
I'm in.
So unanimous?
Love you.
So much.
Good work.
I don't.
Anybody opposed? She did not oppose, Charlie just tells us approved.
I'm
I
glad
don't think it's the best location for,
Yes.
you know.
All right,
Congratulations.
thank you. Don't get, you're on, there's no reason to kick her on the way out.
I'm
I like it, I didn't want it, he'll be the first guy in line for coffee.
I'm not kicking her.
No, he's got a big truck, he's gonna park it.
Welcome to
Yeah,
With the trailer.
With Milner.
Welcome to your weekend.
See you, thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. Can we kick these out quick?
What does that mean?
Let me ask you this, we've got all of them sitting here. 5 through 10 are all, 5 through 9 are all dealing with, just follow home park. Did anybody have any questions on those in general?
The only question I have, if these were all anticipated,
They're all going into your budget, so that's the original one. So we're gonna have that, we'll have the number based on these plus a couple more. So the
So
idea
you're
is,
saying it's not change order?
exactly.
it's not a, you gotta at least let me enter into the contract first.
Wanna be sure.
It is a change. And then the last one is the scanning. 10, you guys understand that one? But basically they're just taking everything in the whole facility and scanning, organize their software.
Huge undertaking.
It is big, but it will increase storage, and then they've actually, I think there's like 2 scanned documents in our building right now, so.
Did we buy any specific equipment to do it ourselves?
It's so much stuff that there's, I mean,
What do you
afterward,
think that-
Don't get very excited.
We will be able to scan moving forward. We have scanned in the past. We
most of
have
my,
scanned
that's not building
75
documents.
years.
Yeah, it's like, there's like 75 years of stuff they're gonna catch up, and then they're gonna be able to go.
And then we should be able to,
So the equipment that we bought will not be wasted?
No, you'll be able, and then the other flip is too, the document management software they have with it, tags, all this stuff, so they'll actually be able to find things, and that'd be neat.
And so this, we would have,
So for anybody in the public, when you sue us next time, you'll be able to get, you'll be able to get a very nice FOIA request.
would we have a renewing contract then yearly with them?
We can.
There'll be a document management.
Yeah. Because it's all
Licensing fees, yes.
Yes.
And then a
But
lot
they're
of,
not gonna be, they're not gonna be scanning on an ongoing basis?
No.
no, we take care of it if it catches
That's
up.
us.
Using the software.
Yes.
Yeah, the software categorizes it, and then the hardware we're scanning, and then we're also, the other goal we have is we're trying to take in less paper in the first place.
Yes.
Like John takes in all his plans are electronic. A lot of the applications we've written now are electronic, a lot of things go on, so we're getting better and better, not having to scan it all. Despite Craigslist efforts, because he loves paper. He just loves paper. So and then the last one was just, that's a water line relocation related to the new building facility. So if that has no questions, then I'm going to just tear through these without.
I'll start, I'll motion we rebuild 2858 for the first time by short title.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project concrete installation services.
A motion we read Bill 2858 for the second time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go ahead.
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project concrete installation services.
I move that we read Bill 2858, third time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project concrete installation services.
I move that we adopt Bill 2858 as ordinance, be roll call vote.
Second.
Alderman Dykeman.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
Isbrzy.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Keep going, Gary.
All right, that's ordinance number 2744, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Oh, no, 27.
44.
44.
Keep a scorecard or something like that, like a ballgame?
I motion we read Bill 2859 for the first time by short title.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye. Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project artificial turf installation services.
I motion we read Bill 2859 for the second time by short title.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project artificial turf installation services.
I motion we read Bill 2859 for the third time by short title.
All second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project artificial turf installation services.
Yeah, I'll move that we read Bill 2859 as ordinance, be roll call vote.
Second.
Alderman Dykeman.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
Isbrzy.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Bill 2859 on fair ordinance 2745.
I motion we read Bill 2860 for the first time by short title.
Second.
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project electrical and lighting installation services.
I motion we read Bill 2860 for the second time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project electrical and lighting installation services.
I motion we read Bill 2860 for the third time by short title.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project electrical and lighting installation services.
Yeah, I'll move that we adopt Bill 2860 as ordinance, be roll call vote.
Second.
Alderman Dykeman.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
Isbrzy.
Yes.
Sir.
Bill 2860 fair ordinance 2746.
I motion we read Bill 2861 for the first time by short title.
Second. All in favor? Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project fencing installation services.
I motion we read Bill 2861 for the second time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project fencing installation services.
I motion we read Bill 2861 for the third time by short title.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into an agreement for park project fencing installation services.
Yeah, I move that we adopt Bill 2861 into ordinance, be roll call vote.
Second.
Alderman Dykeman.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
Isbrzy.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Bill 2861 on fair ordinance 2747.
I motion we read Bill 2862 for the first time by short title.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into agreement for parks and recreation architectural services.
I motion we read Bill 2862 for the second time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into agreement for parks and recreation architectural services.
I motion we read Bill 2862 for the third time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into agreement for parks and recreation architectural services.
Okay, move that we adopt Bill 2862 into ordinance, be roll call vote.
Second.
Alderman Dykeman.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kilpatrick.
Yes.
Isbrzy.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Bill 2862 fair ordinance 2748.
I motion we read Bill 2863 for the first time by short title.
Second. All in favor? Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into contract for the relocation of water facilities.
I motion we read Bill 2863 for the second time by short title.
Are we on,
Wait a minute.
not the scanning document, kid?
Might not hold. Sorry.
Which one did?
We're on the scanning documents, yes.
Sean is paying attention. You actually, this is.
Same thing?
Yeah, I know, okay.
Apologize.
There you go, that's right. An ordinance authorizing entering into agreement for scanning and document management services.
All right. So I'll re-second Bill 2863 for the first time by short title.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An An ordinance authorizing entering into agreement for scanning and document management services.
A motion to rebuild 2863 for the third time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing entering into agreement for scanning and document management services.
I move that we adopt bill 2863, the ordinance, your roll call vote.
Second.
Alderman Dyke.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kirkpatrick.
Yes.
Dispersey.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Bill 2863, over ordinance 2749.
Wait to read the minutes on that one.
Motion to, we rebuild 28 for the, 2864 for the first time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into contract for the relocation of water facilities.
I motion to rebuild 2864 for the second time by short title.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance authorizing entering into a contract for the relocation of water facilities.
I motion to rebuild 2864 for the third time by short title.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing entering into a contract for the relocation of water facilities.
I move that we adopt bill 2864, the ordinance, your roll call vote.
I'll
Second.
Alderman Dyke.
Yes.
Holloway.
Yes.
Kirkpatrick.
Yes.
Dispersey.
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
Bill number 2864, will bear ordinance 2750. Congratulations. All right, we've got item 12, approval of city disbursements.
Motion to pay the bills.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Pay the bills, have the acknowledgement of the financials in there. Any questions on that? We just showed the debt for the, how we organized, show the debt for our last conversation. She did move 600 million from property to debt service fund to kind of have a reserve showing that that needs to be saved for interest expense and a monthly debit that account. Just to kind of keep it on a regular budget process. We don't have to do that, but we're just trying to come up with some good controls so that you guys don't spend all our money blindly. Yeah, I don't spend any money, so you guys. So we, and then, note, I would say that her citywide sales tax comparison is pretty interesting because that's 1 quarter. But when you look at the revenues, and this isn't, it's not like I'm looking at Christmas revenue or something like a holiday, but you're up very significantly on almost all these accounts. In a tough, something down a sales tax environment, there's a lot going on. So I think it's just a testament again that, I mean, when you're up, you look at a 591 on property versus 512 the prior year, same quarter, those are big numbers. And we had, like, if you figure, if you said like 600 grand was our property revenues, is roughly, if you kept that going, you're 2.4 million. Our bond debt is about 1.8 in the payments. You're, again, even though we borrow, we're getting pretty conservative with what out, I think. So, you want to acknowledge or questions?
Motion to acknowledge.
Second.
All in favor of acknowledgement?
Aye.
All right, acknowledgement. All right, any comments? You got,
Great.
anybody?
Yeah, I thought you did a great job throwing the switch for the trees. It's amazing talent. I think Parks Department did a fabulous job. There was a huge turnout for the Christmas lighting.
Yeah, that is
Tree lighting this time around.
Yeah, there may be people that go back and forth on what's good at the spur or not. The Christmas thing is fantastic at the spur. And it really works out well. And then Chris mounted the tree stuff up there very well, more stable. But I was, I mean, the weather was great too. Man, a ton of people up there. So it's a ton. Santa did a good job.
Yeah, and I also noticed that Old Town was packed. When I left, I drove through Old Town, every restaurant, I saw a lot of heavy foot traffic in the stores. So to me, it brought in a lot of people into the town. I thought, again, Parks did a great job.
I agree, it was fun. I got my daughter to go, a 24-year-old daughter.
It's magical down there. It's
She
right
stood
here.
there for a picture and smiled.
I took my 90-year-old mother
It
to see
was
Santa.
success. Oh, we didn't see Santa. That was very nice. Tree was beautiful, the ornaments looked great. What, we need some more snowflakes, huh?
Yeah. I'll look at it.
Okay.
All right, anybody else got anything that they need to talk about in the comments? All right, comments are going to close, and then we'll go close. How much we go close? All in favor? I close. All right, we'll close.